Bitcoin just broke above $54,000. Yes, that's right. We finally flipped that $53,000 level. Things are starting to look interesting, and potentially here my front run theory of a peak in April or May is starting to play out more and more. At this point, we've crossed 54,000, and the next logical level is the all-time high at $69,000. So in this video, let me dive into the charts. Let me share with you my thoughts on what I think could lie ahead. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Dirk. Make sure that you follow my page on Instagram down below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you get future updates. And I really appreciate it if you smash that like button, give it a thumbs up so we can get this out to more people. Alright, so what we have here is the 3-day chart of Bitcoin. We're at $54,540 as you can see. And this is very, very nice because what we have here now is we have crossed this 0.70% line over here. The purple line you can see, that is the 0.70% Fibonacci retracement from the whole 2022 bear market. And this is very, very significant because usually that acts as a resistance. So what can happen a lot of the time is that it rejects here and then move lower. But usually what we see is once it flips this 0.70, it tends to go to the next level, which is the all-time high. So while there's never a guarantee at this point, there is strong bullish momentum behind this. We are crossing this level here, and I think it just makes logical sense. If my front run theory is in play, meaning that everyone is expecting this bull market to continue into 2025 based on previous cycles, because the halving happens every 4 years. The halving is set to happen in April, and usually what this means is that we have 12 to 18 months of upside after the halving. That has been the situation for the past 12 years. The past 3 halving cycles, every single time we had the halving, and then the price moved a lot higher post-halving. Now, my front run theory is basically that we run up into the halving and everything peaks a lot sooner than people expect. Now, whether that's going to end up being in April or May, or whether that's going to end up being later in the year, how long that goes, we'll have to take it a step at a time. But since 2023, for about the past year or so, I've been saying that this is a potential scenario where we see the all-time highs by about the time of the halving, which so far seems to be on track. Now, obviously, we still have quite a bit to go here from 54 to 69. It's $15,000 to the upside. But at this pace, the way things are moving, it can happen pretty quickly. And we could be at that level within the next 1 to 2 months, potentially, as long as this continues, of course. So we now have this bullish momentum. Bitcoin has been holding above $50,000 for the last couple of weeks actually here, which means that retail is starting to pay attention. Okay, I think $50,000 is a very round psychological level, and the more that it stays above there and the higher it goes, the more that the average retail investor, the average person, is going to start paying attention to Bitcoin once again, and is going to start figuring out where they have their disposable income, or just, be irresponsible and start betting money they can't afford to lose, which obviously you shouldn't do, but that's just how these cycles progress. So the higher the markets move, the more and more people get interested in terms of retail liquidity, and then people just start to buy, and that's when we start to see the stuff all over TV, all over social media. You see all the pages and influencers start talking about crypto again, and then we get that final bull euphoria moment where everything goes a lot higher in a relatively short period of time. And we can see this also with altcoins that can move very, very fast in the last several weeks of the cycle. We're talking about a 5 or 10x in the last month of the cycle, and we could be leading up to that in potentially the next, say, 2 to 3 months or so at this pace, okay? So what tends to happen is Bitcoin tends to move higher. Once Bitcoin moves, then the liquidity and the profits from Bitcoin start to move over into Ethereum and start to move over into altcoins, and we see that massive euphoria phase. So at this point in time, personally, I would not be looking at Bitcoin here at 54,000 because the upside is limited. I mean, even if it does a 2x, right, and it goes to 110,000, which is potentially possible this cycle, who knows how far it gets pushed to the upside, but that's only a 2x, right? So if you're looking at Bitcoin going to 110,000 and doing a 2x, at this point, altcoins are probably going to do like a 10x or more. So in terms of chasing ROI, and I think most people who understand these markets, and also just in general, like people can't afford $54,000 for a Bitcoin, right? So someone might have 5,000 or a couple thousand or 10 or 20,000 to invest. Are you really going to put that in Bitcoin where your maximum chance of upside is maybe like a 2x or a 3x? Or are you going to put that into altcoins and look for that real moonshot, that life-changing money where you can do 10, 20, 30x, maybe 50x or more, which is possible because we've seen it in the previous cycles. The conditions are starting to set up for that, and it's just the kind of money that would be life-changing on smaller amounts, right? If you have $5,000, getting a 2x on that, sure, it's a nice $5,000, but it isn't really going to change your life in any significant way. But getting a 50x on $5,000 is $250K, and that would be pretty life-changing for most people, right? So that is probably the thought process of most retail investors that have some money to invest, that want to get involved with crypto. They're not going to go for Bitcoin. They're probably not even going to go for like Ethereum, maybe not even Solana, that's already high, but sure, it could probably do more than Bitcoin. But the real money lies in the smaller, cheaper altcoins, that are priced at under $1. That's generally the retail mindset when they go into this. Hey, I just want to buy a lot of these coins, they're under $1. What if they ever go to like $100? That's always the kind of the carrot that gets them to invest, the carrot that's being held in front of their nose, that reward, that incentive, that what if. And that's when we see all the retail investors starting to throw their money at crypto, and we see altcoins just go absolutely nuts. And obviously when that happens, that will be the time to start getting out of the markets. You want to do the opposite of the masses. So once the masses start flowing in, and once crypto pumps like crazy, everything is euphoric, everything is up, that is not the time to buy. That is the time to start cashing out, taking profits on your positions, and then hopefully getting out as close to the top of the cycle as possible whenever that is going to be. By the way, if you need my help navigating the cycle, I do all of that inside my VIP membership. The link is in the description down below. I share my portfolio, my trade ideas, market analysis every single day. I've got courses, tutorials to get you up to speed on crypto. And we have a community of more than 2,600 members now inside our Discord group. So if you want to join us, you need that help and guidance, the link is in the description down below. So let's have a quick look at Ethereum, which is now trading at $3,169. That is awesome to see. And I've been talking about this for a while. I've been saying Ethereum is lagging behind Bitcoin simply in terms of the technical structure. So what I just showed you, that $53,000 level, was the 0.70% retracement of the whole bear market. For Ethereum, that same level, technically based on the retracement, is at $3,685. Let's call it $3,700. So Ethereum would need to go to $3,700 just to be technically on the same retracement percentage as Bitcoin was. And that is what we're seeing. We've seen ETH go here from like 2,200 now on a massive run to almost 3,200 in the last like 2 weeks or so. And there's just a lot of strength behind this. I continue to expect this to rally, take out this high over here, the 0.70, so somewhere between 3,500 and 3,700. And then we are in the same situation as Bitcoin was now, where it kind of consolidates under here for a little bit. And then if we can flip that 3,700, the all-time highs for ETH are probably next at about $5,000. And again, all of this stuff has happened before in the last cycle. Okay, it can move this fast. You can see here in the previous cycle. So if I copy this exact price action over here, what happened in 2021, you can see over here, if you move this forward, it is completely possible here for us to be at the all-time highs by somewhere between April or May, at this current pace, of course, and that is exactly what it did in the last cycle. So if you think it's not possible for ETH to keep going up without some sort of correction, it is possible. That's exactly what happened in the previous cycle, and this is basically like maximum pain, because everyone who's watching this, who hasn't been listening, who hasn't been following my updates, because I've been saying this for more than a year, and the price just keeps going higher and higher and higher. It doesn't give those significant pullbacks, which is super frustrating if you're sidelined, because now it keeps going higher and you want to buy in lower, but you don't get the opportunity. So at 2K, you wanted to buy at 1,500, 2,500, you wanted to buy 2K, 3K, now you want to buy at 2,500, and it just keeps going. And eventually, you're going to be left with that ultimate choice. where you've been sidelined for so long, do you just FOMO in and hope that it continues going higher? Do you stay sidelined completely? Do you stay out of it? And for most people, that FOMO will eventually just push them in. You know, if you're not involved at 3,200 yet, maybe at 4,000, maybe at 5,000, when it breaks the all-time high, a lot of people are going to start thinking, okay, now it's going to go to 10,000. Maybe it does, but maybe it only goes from 5,000 to 5,500, and that is the peak, and most people buy the peak. Okay, that is how these markets work. And we are now in a position here where Bitcoin and ETH are significantly higher than where they were a year ago, obviously. But altcoins are still very much in a position where they haven't taken off as much yet. So if you're watching this and you're still sidelined, altcoins still have an opportunity to go up. Once they move up higher too, once altcoins do 5x or 10x from here, it is going to be a lot harder. The upside potential becomes a lot lower. The risk to the downside becomes a lot higher. The whole key to making money with crypto is you have to buy low and you have to sell high. If you miss buying low and you start buying high, the risk reward changes a lot. You risk buying the top, and eventually when this bull cycle is over, whenever that's going to be, whether that's in April or May or November or maybe even early next year, we don't know, right? But whenever this market cycle is going to be over, this market is going to drop back again in a major way, just like we saw in 2022. We are probably going to see Bitcoin and Ethereum drop 70 or 80% from their peaks. We're probably going to see altcoins drop 80, 90, maybe even 99% again from their peaks. So you need to take advantage of these bull conditions, of this bull cycle, to ride it up. And then you need to take profits when things are euphoric. That is the best way and pretty much the only way to make profits here. And then, of course, once you do that, you will be able to make money to the downside too. But the only way to do that is by shorting the markets. And that's obviously a little bit more technical, so you need to understand how the charts work. You need to understand risk management, how to trade, and all of that. And that's obviously what I teach inside my VIP and what we'll be focusing on in the bear market. So you want to be a part of that if you want to focus on making profits. But this is the plan, okay? Ride it up as much as possible, get out as close to the top as possible, and then look for short entries and opportunities on the way down in the bear market. And there is tons and tons of money to be made that way. So hopefully, since you're watching this right now, hopefully you've been following me for a while, you know you're prepared for this, and hopefully this cycle you're going to make tons and tons of money. Okay, so just to come back to altcoins for a single example, just to show you the charts, I want to show you DigiByte here. I do like this coin personally a lot, but I think the charts look good here, and many altcoin charts look like this. So the point is, forget about the fact that it's DigiByte. Look at how these altcoins move. Okay, during the previous cycle, look what we get in terms of a massive, massive pump over here. Okay, you can see here from January 2021 to May. It's basically 4 months. Okay, it's the beginning of May, the 1st of May. So in a period of 4 months, this coin did a massive, massive multiple, and most coins end up doing that. And you can see the majority even started basically from March. The last 4 weeks, it did the largest move of its entire move. And other than that, it just kind of stays flat. So what most people do is after this pump, they only start getting interested at buying somewhere over here, which is obviously the absolute worst thing that you can do. It's pumped already 10, 15, 20x, and then you start seeing it everywhere. It's like, whoa, okay, it's going to keep going up. The FOMO kicks in. If this does another 10x, I'm going to be rich. That's how most people think. They buy the top, and then it drops like 99%, and it goes down only for like 2 or 3 years. Okay, you can see where we are now relative to where it was the last cycle. What you want to do is you want to buy low, and then you want to sell high. So altcoins really tend to move towards the end. Obviously, there's different altcoins. There's a lot that have pumped. There's a lot that are already up 10 or 20 or 30x since the bear market lows. But in general, there are still many coins that are looking like this that haven't really moved yet. And in my opinion, I think they will continue to move because it's just based on the liquidity of the overall bull cycle. The money will flow just like water flows to the lowest point through the path of least resistance. In the same way, the money flow in the crypto market will flow to the coins that haven't pumped yet, that have lower market caps, that have less resistance going up, because that's where the most money is to be made. There's a lot of people, a lot of smart people, algorithms, bots, teams, whales, that are all looking to maximize their ROI. And when something is already maximum pumped, there's no upside potential left in that. So what do? They start accumulating the coins that haven't pumped yet, and once they've got a big enough bag, they can start to coordinate the pump. Once it starts moving, then more people jump into that coin and it moves higher and higher and higher. And then eventually, once it gets high enough, the whales, the smart money who accumulated low, they start to offload at the top and they make massive profits. That is how it works every single cycle. I think this time will be no different. So the key here is still to make money, as you're watching this right now, is in my opinion in these altcoins that haven't really moved yet. Bitcoin is already pumped in a big way. Ethereum is already pumped. It's up 3x already since the bear market lows. So you can see these types of coins. Just look for charts that haven't pumped yet in a way like this. And those are probably the best bet because the downside is still fairly limited. They've been in accumulation for so long. And when they move, they can move really fast. In a matter of weeks, we can see coins do 5x, 10x, or more. So at this point in time, that is what I would look for, coins that haven't pumped yet. You can position yourself there. And if we get the continued pump in the coming few months or coming few weeks even, then that is where you can be able to reap those massive potential profits. If you want to learn more from me, come and join me in VIP. I share my market thoughts, charts, insights, trade ideas every single day. You can join me in Discord personally. You can interact with me. You can join the community of more than 2,600 members. And it is all risk-free with a 60-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the description down below. Check it out. Come and join us and increase your chances for really profiting from this crypto cycle. Things are about to get wild, in my opinion. And the next couple of weeks leading into the Bitcoin halving, we should see a lot more upside. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button and I will see you in the next video.